If you are receiving OAS, that is Old Age Security, or CPP, the Canada Pension Plan, then what I am about to share with you in the next few minutes directly affects the money that lands in your bank account. Not next year, not someday, right now, this March. The government has confirmed increases to both OAS and CPP payments, and I'm going to walk you through exactly how much more you are going to receive, why this increase is happening, who qualifies, and what you need to do, if anything, to make sure you get every dollar you are entitled to. So stay with me. This is important, and it is all for you. Every single year, the Canadian government adjusts both CPP and OAS payments to keep up with the rising cost of living. You may have heard this called indexing. What it means in plain language is this: when prices go up, when your groceries cost more, when your heating bill gets bigger, when medication becomes more expensive, the government is supposed to make sure your pension payments go up too, so that your money still buys what it used to buy. This adjustment is tied to something called the Consumer Price Index, or CPI. The CPI is basically a measuring tool that the government uses to track how much everyday things cost. When the CPI goes up, it means life is getting more expensive. And when life gets more expensive, your OAS and CPP are supposed to follow. Now, here is something very important that many seniors do not know. CPP and OAS are adjusted at different times and in different ways. They are two separate programs and they work on two different schedules. So let us look at each one carefully. CPP, the Canada Pension Plan, is adjusted 4 times a year. That means every 3 months, Service Canada looks at the Consumer Price Index and decides whether your CPP payment needs to go up. The adjustment dates are January, April, July, and October. Now, you might be wondering, if CPP is adjusted in January, why are we talking about a March increase? Here is the answer. The January 2025 adjustment was already confirmed and applied, but the effects of that adjustment are showing up in real dollars in your January, February, and March payments. And for many people, the full picture of what they are now receiving compared to what they were receiving before is only now becoming clear. Additionally, for 2025, CPP also underwent a structural change as part of the CPP Enhancement Plan, a long-term government program that has been gradually increasing the amount Canadians receive from CPP since 2019. This is not just a cost of living adjustment. This is a permanent enhancement designed to replace a larger percentage of your pre-retirement earnings. So, what does this mean in real numbers? For 2025, the maximum monthly CPP retirement pension for someone who starts collecting at age 65 is now $1,433 per month. That is up from $103,660 in 2024. That is an increase of more than $68 per month, or roughly $860 more per year. Now, before you get too excited or too disappointed, let me explain something very important. The maximum amount is what you would receive only if you contributed the maximum amount to CPP for your entire working life and you start collecting at exactly age 65. Most Canadians do not receive the maximum. The average CPP retirement benefit being paid out right now is closer to $758 to $815 per month. But here is what matters. If your CPP was adjusted upward as part of the January 2025 review, you are receiving more money right now than you were 3 months ago. Even if your increase is not the full $68, even if your increase is $15 or $22 or $31, that is still real money in your pocket. Money you have earned, money you deserve. And if you are not sure exactly how much your CPP went up, I am going to tell you exactly how to check that in just a few minutes. Now, let us talk about OAS, Old Age Security. This one is different from CPP, and honestly, for many seniors, this is the one that matters most. Here is why OAS is not based on how much you worked or how much you contributed. OAS is a flat benefit that the government pays to almost all Canadians aged 65 and older who meet the residency requirements. You do not have to have worked a single day to receive OAS. It is based on how long you have lived in Canada as an adult. And because so many seniors receive OAS, including those who may have had low-wage jobs, those who worked informally, those who raised families and did not work in the paid workforce, The OAS increase is one that touches a very large number of people. OAS is adjusted every quarter, meaning 4 times a year in January, April, July, and October. The adjustment is based on the Consumer Price Index for the previous 3 months. For the first quarter of 2025, covering January, February, and March. Here is what OAS looks like. If you are between the ages of 65 and 74, your maximum monthly OAS payment is now $72767 per month. If you are 75 or older, your maximum monthly OAS payment is now $844 per month. You read that right. Seniors aged 75 and over receive a higher OAS payment. This is because in July 2022, the government permanently increased OAS for seniors 75 and older by 10%. That extra amount has been in place ever since, and it continues to be adjusted upward with every quarterly increase. So, if you turned 75 since 2022, your OAS payment should have gone up automatically when your birthday hit. If you feel like that did not happen or you are not sure, please contact Service Canada or log into your My Service Canada account online. And again, I will walk you through that shortly. Now, the increases for Q1 2025 compared to Q4 2024 may seem small when you look at them on paper. We are talking about increases in the range of a few dollars per month for this particular quarter. But here is the thing. These increases compound every quarter that goes by. The base amount goes up. And because the base goes up, every future increase builds on a higher starting point. Over time, these small quarterly bumps add up to real significant differences in your annual income. Before we go further, I need to talk about something that I believe is one of the most underutilized, most important, and most overlooked benefits in the entire Canadian senior support system. It is called the Guaranteed Income Supplement, or GIS. The GIS is an additional monthly benefit paid on top of OAS. It is designed specifically for lower-income seniors. If you are 65 or older, you are already receiving OAS and your income is below a certain threshold. You may qualify for the GIS and it can add hundreds of dollars to your monthly income. For January to March 2025, here are the GIS maximum monthly amounts for a single senior. The maximum GIS payment is $1,868 per month. For a senior whose spouse or common law partner also receives OAS, the maximum GIS is $654.23 per month per person. For a senior whose spouse or common law partner receives the allowance benefit, the maximum GIS is $65423 per month. Now, here is what shocks many people. The GIS is not automatic. You must apply for it, and every year you must file your income tax return, so that Service Canada can determine whether you still qualify and how much you should receive. If you have not applied for GIS, or if you have not filed your taxes in recent years, you may be missing out on a significant amount of money, thousands of dollars every year that you are legally entitled to, but are simply not receiving because the paperwork was not submitted. Please, if you are a lower-income senior or if someone you love is, make sure the GIS application has been completed and that taxes are being filed every year. This is not optional money. This is your money. Before I continue, I want to ask you something. If you are finding this information helpful, if this is the kind of content that helps you understand your benefits better, helps you make sure you are getting every dollar you have earned, then please take just 2 seconds right now and hit that subscribe button below this video. Every week I publish videos exactly like this one, videos that break down government benefits, pension increases, tax tips for seniors, and everything else that affects your financial well-being. I keep it simple, I keep it honest, and I make sure it is always about what matters most, you and your family. Hit subscribe. It costs you nothing, and it makes sure you never miss an update that could put more money in your pocket. Now, let us keep going. This is the question I know you have been waiting for. How much more money will actually show up in your bank account? The honest answer is it depends on your individual situation. But let me give you a clear, simple framework to understand what you should be seeing. First, let us talk about CPP. Your CPP increase for 2025 is calculated as a percentage of what you were already receiving. The cost of living adjustment for CPP in January 2025 was 2.6%. That means if you were receiving $800 per month in CPP in December 2024, your new amount should be approximately $82,080 per month, an increase of about $2,080 per month, or roughly $250 more over the full year. If you were receiving $600 per month in CPP, a 2.6% 6% increase means you are now receiving approximately $6,560, about $1,560 more per month, or around $187 more over the year. If you are receiving $1,000 per month in CPP, your new amount should be approximately $126, an increase of $26 per month, or $312 more per year. Now, these are estimates based on the cost of living adjustment alone. If you are also benefiting from the CPP enhancement, which applies if you worked and contributed to CPP after 2019, your increase may be slightly higher. Now let us talk about OAS. The OAS increase for Q1 2025 compared to Q3 2024 reflects a cumulative adjustment. For most seniors aged 65 to 74, the increase from the same period last year is approximately 2.3% to 2.6%, 6% depending on the exact quarter you are comparing. In dollar terms, if you were receiving $700 per month in OAS in early 2024, you should now be receiving approximately $718 to $720 per month. That is about $18 to $20 more per month, or roughly $216 to $240 more per year. For seniors aged 75 and over, the numbers are slightly higher because you are starting from a higher base. If you were receiving $770 per month in OAS in early 2024, you should now be receiving approximately $790 to $800 per month. Again, these are, general estimates. Your exact amount depends on when you started collecting, how long you lived in Canada, and whether you are receiving partial or full OAS. The only way to know your exact amount is to check your payment directly, and I am going to show you how to do that right now. There are 3 easy ways to check exactly how much you are receiving and confirm that the increases have been applied correctly. Method 1. My Service Canada account. This is the easiest and most complete way. Go to the Service Canada website at servicecanada.c.ca and click on My Service Canada account. If you already have an account, sign in. If you do not, you can register using your CRA My Account credentials or by using a GC key. Once you are logged in, you can see your exact CPP and OAS payment amounts, your payment history, and any upcoming changes. It is all right there in your account. No phone calls, no waiting on hold, no frustration. Method 2. Your bank statement. Every month, Service Canada deposits your CPP and OAS payments directly into your bank account. Check your January or February 2025 bank statement and compare it to your October or November 2024 statement. If the amounts are higher, the increase has been applied. If they look exactly the same, it may be worth calling Service Canada to confirm. Method 3. Call Service Canada. If you prefer to speak to someone, and many seniors do, you can call Service Canada at 1-800-277-99914. They are available Monday to Friday. Be patient, because wait times can sometimes be long, but the agents are helpful and can confirm your exact payment amounts and explain any adjustments. I strongly encourage you to take a few minutes this week to check your amounts, not because something is necessarily wrong. Most increases are applied automatically and correctly, but because knowing your numbers is empowering. When you know exactly what you are receiving and why, you are in control. This is an important question. What if you checked your statement and your payment stayed exactly the same? What if it went down? What should you do? First, do not panic. There are a few legitimate reasons why your payment might not have increased or might look different. Reason 1, tax withholding changes. If you updated your tax withholding instructions with Service Canada, meaning you asked them to take more or less tax off your monthly payment, the net amount deposited into your account might look different even if the gross amount went up. Check what the gross amount is before taxes. Reason 2, OAS clawback. If your annual income exceeds a certain threshold for 2025, that threshold is approximately $9,997. Some or all of your OAS may be reduced or eliminated through what is called the OAS recovery tax, also known as the OAS clawback. If your income is in that range, this could explain why your OAS did not increase the way you expected. Reason 3. Partial OAS. If you lived outside Canada for part of your adult life and did not accumulate the full 40 years of Canadian residency, you may receive a partial OAS benefit. The quarterly increases apply to partial benefits too, but the total amount will be lower than the maximums I mentioned earlier. Reason 4. Deferral. If you chose to defer your OAS past age 65, which increases your monthly amount by 0.6% for each month, you delay up to a maximum of 36% more at age 70, the calculation of your benefit might be different. Make sure you understand what your deferral bonus is and whether it is being applied correctly. If none of these reasons apply to your situation and your payment has simply not gone up when it should have, contact Service Canada. Mistakes are rare, but they do happen and you deserve to receive every cent you are entitled to. There are 2 more benefits I want to mention because many Canadians do not know they exist. The first is the allowance. This is a benefit for Canadians aged 60 to 64, whose spouse or common law partner is a low-income OAS and GIS recipient. Essentially, if you are in your early 60s and your partner is a senior receiving GIS, you may be entitled to receive a monthly allowance payment even though you are not yet 65 for January to March 2025. The maximum monthly allowance is $1,381. The second benefit is the allowance for the survivor. This is for Canadians aged 60 to 64 who are widowed, meaning their spouse or common law partner has passed away and whose own income is below a certain threshold. For January to March 2025, the maximum monthly allowance for the survivor is $1,647.34. Both of these benefits are adjusted quarterly along with OAS and GIS. And like the GIS, they are not automatic. You must apply. If you or someone you know might qualify for either of these benefits, please do not wait. Apply as soon as possible. In most cases, you can only receive retroactive payments for up to 11 months. Every month you delay is money you cannot get back. Now, I want to share a few practical tips that many seniors find very helpful. Tip 1. Always file your taxes. I know this might sound obvious, but for many seniors, especially those with very low income, the idea of filing taxes feels unnecessary. I barely make anything, you might think. Why bother? Here is why. Your GIS eligibility is determined entirely by your income tax return. If you do not file, Service Canada cannot assess your GIS entitlement, and if they cannot assess it, they will not pay it. Filing your taxes, even if you have very little income, is the single most important action you can take to protect your benefits. If you need help filing, the CRA offers a free tax filing service called the Community Volunteer Income Tax Program, or CVITP. Trained volunteers can file your taxes for free if your income is modest and your tax situation is simple. Be sure to subscribe for more updates on your benefits. Call 1-800-959-8281 to find a CVITP location near you. Tip 2. Consider delaying OAS. If you are not yet receiving OAS and you have other income sources that can sustain you between age 65 and 70, consider delaying your OAS. For every month you delay past age 65, your OAS increases by 0.6%. If you delay the full 5 years to age 70, your OAS will be 36% higher for the rest of your life. And since OAS is adjusted quarterly for inflation on top of that, delaying can result in significantly more money over your lifetime, especially if you are in good health. Tip 3. Consider delaying CPP too. Similarly, delaying CPP past age 65 increases your payment by 0.7%. For every month you wait up to a maximum of 42% more at age 70. This is a personal decision that depends on your health, your other income, and your financial needs. But if you can afford to wait, the long-term payout is substantially higher. Tip 4. Notify Service Canada of major life changes. If your marital status changes, if you marry, separate, divorce, or if your spouse passes away, contact Service Canada immediately. These changes can affect your OAS, GIS, CPP, allowance, and other benefits. The sooner Service Canada knows, the sooner your payments can be adjusted correctly. Tip 5. Check your CPP statement of contributions. You can request a statement of contributions from Service Canada, which shows the history of all the CPP contributions you have made throughout your working life. This is important because mistakes do happen. Employers sometimes fail to remit contributions correctly, or self-employment contributions may be miscalculated. If your statement of contributions looks wrong, you may be able to have it corrected, which could result in a higher CPP payment. Now, let us look ahead a little bit because I know many of you like to plan. CPP will be reviewed again in April 2025. At that time, a new cost of living adjustment will be calculated based on the consumer price index for the previous 3 months, and if prices have gone up, your CPP will go up again. OAS will also be reviewed again in April 2025 with the same process. The results of that review will be reflected in your April, May, and June 2025 payments. The CPP Enhancement Program, the long-term effort to strengthen CPP, will also continue each year through 2025 and beyond. Canadians who contributed to the enhanced CPP are accruing benefits at a higher rate. This means that future retirees will receive more from CPP than current retirees do as a percentage of their working income. There's also ongoing political discussion about further increases to OAS and GIS for low-income seniors. While I cannot tell you what any future government will or will not do, the trend over the past several years has been toward gradually increasing support for seniors, particularly those with the lowest incomes. Staying informed is the best way to make sure you benefit from any future changes. And that is exactly why I encourage you to stay connected with this channel. I want to take a moment to speak directly to the sons, daughters, grandchildren, and caregivers who are watching this video on behalf of an elderly parent or loved one. First, thank you. The work you do, often quietly, often thanklessly, to support and advocate for the seniors in your life, is invaluable. Understanding these benefits on their behalf is one of the most practical and loving things you can do. Here are a few things you can help with right now. Check whether your loved one is receiving GIS. If they are a lower-income senior and they are not receiving the Guaranteed Income Supplement, they may be missing out on over $1,000 per month. Help them apply. Help them file their taxes every year. Even if their income is very simple, filing taxes is essential to maintaining GIS eligibility. Help them set up a My Service Canada account so they can easily view their payment information online. If they are between 60 and 64 and their spouse is a low-income senior, look into the allowance benefit. It could mean over $1,300 per month for your family. And if they have passed away recently, I say this with deep respect. Please notify Service Canada promptly. Overpayments can happen when a benefit continues after a recipient passes, and the estate may be required to repay them. Taking care of these details is an act of love, and it ensures that the money goes exactly where it is supposed to go. Let me bring it all together for you now. Here's what we covered today. CPP payments increased by 2.6% in January 2025. The maximum CPP retirement benefit is now $1,433 per month, and the average benefit has also gone up proportionally. OAS payments for January to March 2025 are $727.67 per month for seniors aged 65 to 74 and $844 or per month for seniors aged 75 and over. The GIS maximum is fund per month for single seniors who qualify. You must apply and you must file your taxes every year to keep receiving it. The allowance and allowance for the survivor are valuable benefits for eligible Canadians aged 60 to 64. If you or someone you know might qualify, apply now. To check your exact payment amounts, log into My Service Canada account. Check your bank statement or call 1-800-277-914. File your taxes every single year, no matter what. It protects your GIS and your other income-tested benefits. Future increases to CPP and OAS will come again in April 2025. Stay informed.